Hi guys. Yes. So yesterday we discussed about the CSS basics and CS started with the CSS selectors, right? So what are the pendings? Yesterday we discussed up to CSS ID selector or what? External CSS class selector is completed, right? So then ID selector we have to check. Yes. ID selector also we discussed, right? So the next one is the class selector. Next one is the CSS class selector. Okay, so CSS class selectors works with similar to CSS ID selector, but so we have only one difference. So in a one page for ID selector we have to use only one ID, but here class we can use multiple times. Class we can use multiple times. That is only the difference. So remaining so ID and class selector both are same. Okay, so here it is. An ID is unique to the element, whereas class can be common to multiple elements. Okay, so ID is unique to one element. So for suppose if you want to use uh, ID for two elements, we have to create a two IDs. But so whereas uh, class class selector, so we can use same class selector for multiple elements. That is only the difference remaining same as it is how ID is working. Okay, it gives freedom from writing. It gives freedom from writing the same CSS multiple times for a different element. If the CSS style definition is same, then just add the common class to the elements. Okay, so if the CSS is same, so then we can add the same class name to the other elements also. Okay, and only define CSS for the particular class. So it will be applied for all the elements with that a class. So then what is that meaning? So for suppose here, so copying same thing 36.html. Okay, so here I have a multiple anchor. So I have a multiple buttons. So how we can create a button? So we can create a button with anchor tag, a href. Okay. So then hash. So then class equal to my button. Okay. So then my link. Okay. So this is the one. Okay. The next one. So we can create a button using button also button tag. Okay, button. So then class equal to, so I'm applying same button, so same design I want for all the buttons. Okay, so then my button, then again close button. So the next one we can create a button using input type also. Input type equal to input type equal to submit. So then value equal to say. Okay, so then so these things, three things, using these three things, so we can create a buttons, right? So then I am giving the class called my button, my button. Okay, so now we can execute this one. So html 36.html, right? See here, so these three are the buttons, my link, button and save. Okay, my link, button and save. All right, so now i'm creating a I'm creating a CSS for these buttons. Okay, so now, so this is the one. So class my button. So reload this one. Just give me a second. Okay. So here font size 15 pixel. Okay. So then increasing the font size 20 pixel. So then background yellow. Okay. So then padding 10 pixel and 20 pixel. Okay. So text recognition none. None. Okay. So then color is, so white is not good. So then giving the black color. Okay. So then border, border radius 10 pixel and 0 pixel. Okay. 10 pixel and 0 pixel. Right. So this way, this type of buttons I want to create. So then margin left to give the spacing for button and button, margin left 10 pixel, sorry, right, margin right, margin right 10 pixel. Okay, now I am adding this CSS to this class, my button. Okay, now so always you have to choose dot symbol whenever you are writing the CSS for class selector. Dot, so class name my button. So then code block open and I am pasting the CSS here. Okay, now you can see this one is getting the black border because of it's a input type button. So by default input is having button, right? So then you can give the border hyphen color transparent. Okay, now you will get the same buttons. Clear? Clear. So this is the way we can write a CSS using the class selector. Okay. So class selector. So once we can write that CSS and wherever it is required and how many times we can, so we can use wherever it is required. Okay. So that is the class selector. So next selector is grouping selector. Next selector is grouping selector. Okay. So grouping selector. So now I want to, so I want to, where is H1 and H2? So for H1 and H2 and for all the CSS, so for all the font sizes, I want to be a unique. So at that time, so then now I can create the grouping selector. Grouping selector means so take the either HTML either tag selector or ID selector or class selector. So whatever it may be, so you can use all those selectors separated by comma. So then write the then you can write the CSS. For suppose now I want to H1 comma H2 comma H3 comma H4 comma H5 comma H6. For all this for all these headers, so font weight is bold. Font weight is 600. So then so color is color is so 0 0. Okay, for all the H1s, for all the headings. For suppose you want to integrate this when you want to include in this, so anchor tag also you can include the anchor tag also. So then after that you have a button. So then comma button. So for all this one, so now you can see, so previous, so this button, this font weight is normal. Now after reloading this one, see, this is changed, this is changed. So then what we are used, another one, anchor tag we are used, then button also we are used. Here we written mistake. Okay, so then now you can see. Okay, button. So the next one, so if you want to apply for this one also same CSS, so here input, so then you can give the comma input, you can give the input. Okay, now you can see it is applied. So grouping selector means, so we can give the whatever common CSS is there, common CSS. So the common CSS we can write for all the HTML tag selectors, for all the tag selectors, for all the class selectors, for all the ID selectors. So we can give this, we can write the CSS and separated by comma, and separated by comma. For suppose, so for all the font sizes, body, comma, anchor tag, comma, p tag, comma, then ul, comma, li, comma, ol, comma. So then, so that's it. So then for all this, font size is by default 16 pixel. Okay, by default 16 pixel. Then wherever font is not up, not right, so if you won't write the font sizes for any element, so by default it will apply. By default it will apply. Okay, so this is the way we can write the CSS for grouping selector. So then after that, dot selector, dot selector. So this means, so here we are having the three buttons. Here we are having the three buttons, right? So I want to apply the background color different. I have a three buttons. I want to apply a background color. Each button is having the different background color. So for that, so I can use the, I can use the uh, dot selector. I can use the dot selector. Now here, so so this is the A, right? So A dot my button, A dot, A dot my button. Why I am using the dot here? So because of, why I am using dot button, because of it's a class. That's why I am using the dot button. If it is a ID, so we have to use the hash. We have to use the hash. So now I am using the dot button, dot. So then it's a class. So then background color. So above is the background, or background color we are use. So background only we are use. So then this background color is blue. Okay. So the next background color is a dot. Sorry, not a dot. So input dot. Input dot my button. My button. So then background, background orange. Okay. So the next one. So input, so button, right? So button dot my button. So then background color, background. So then right. Okay, now you can see. Okay, so this is the way we can use the different colors, different backgrounds using the dot operator. Okay, if you want to combine a, if you want to combine a, you want to combine a tag selector, HTML tag selector and a class selector. So we have to use the dot operator. We have to use the dot operator. If you want to combine the HTML tag selector and ID, so you have to give the hash symbol. Okay, so this is the This is the way to combine the tag HTML element tag selectors and then class selectors. Okay. So the next one is after completion of grouping. So universal selector. Selector. So the universal selector is used to select and style all the elements in the web page. All the elements in the web page. It is generally used to override the default padding and margin on the web page. Okay, so whenever we are creating any element, by default, browser can provide the some default padding. Okay, so to override that one, so we can use the universal selector. So universal selector we can define with the star symbol. Okay, so we can define with the star symbol. Now you can see, so we have to write the star symbol at the beginning. Okay, at the beginning of CSS star, then margin 0 pixel, then padding 0 pixel. Okay, so we can use this way. Then now see all the paddings, whatever the default paddings are there, so then those paddings are overridden and it is applied a 0 pixel. If we can see the inspect element for this one, H1 there is no paddings now. So if you can hide this one, so if you can uncomment this one by default, so by default where is the padding? Then here it is the padding. Margin block start and margin block end. Okay, right and left they are having the padding. So to override this one, so if we can enable the universal selector, so then it is automatically hides that one. Okay, so that is the universal selector. Okay, to write the common CSS, to override the basic user agent style sheet, so we can write the universal selector. Okay, so the next one is after universal selector, so background. So then completed the all the selectors. Completed all the selectors. Now this is a tag selector, ID selector, class selector, group selector, and universal selector. So these are the selectors we have. Okay. So then clear about this selector. So if you have to understand the hierarchy of this one, then you can easily write the CSS. Okay. So the next one is background property. So then we can discuss all the properties one by one, whatever the properties are having in CSS, we can discuss all those properties. Okay, CSS background property provides the styling to the background of the HTML element. Okay, so these are the main properties we can use for the background. So then we are having some others also. So then we cannot use, mostly we cannot use 99%, we cannot use those properties. So we can use only these properties. Okay, so first one is the background color. So then background image, background repeat, background attachment, and background position, then background size. These are the properties are having for the background. Okay, so then we can see all these things one by one. So I'm creating another file 37.html html doc type. So then html, then head, title, css, background, example. So the next one is body. Inside of this one, so I have a body. Okay, So then I have one img src equal to images slash. So there is no images here. Images are there. Where is the images? No images. I can download few images. So rename this one. So bg.jpg. This is the bg.jpg. I'm copying this one, then paste it into inside of this image folders. Creating new folder called images. So then inside of this one, I'm pasting. Okay, bg.jpg. Okay, now bg images slash bg.jpg. Okay, so this is the way to display the image using the image tag, right? 37.html. Okay, so this is the image. So basically in generally we can display image tag. So now I want to apply the this background for body tag, this background for body tag. Now you can see here. So I am applying from inspect element, then I can copy all these CSS rules into my application, my program. Okay, now background, background. So then colon URL. So inside URL images slash so bg.jpg. Okay, so this is the way to apply the background image. So what it is showing here, it is repeating by default. By default it is repeating. So just give me a second. I'm expanding this one. So if you can expand this one, so whatever the image rules are having, all those properties will apply here. Now you can see it here. So first the background image, then URL. So then after that, so background position X initial, then background position Y initial, then background size, all these things initial is there. So whatever property by default we are defining, so that property will apply. Okay, so this is the background to create a background image. So then after that, background hyphen or repeat. Okay, so then next property is background hyphen repeat. So background hyphen repeat. I don't want to repeat the background image. Okay, so that time, so I can use the no repeat. I can use the no repeat. So if you want to repeat x coordinate, that means horizontally. That means horizontally. Now you can see. If you want to repeat this one horizontally, so then you can repeat ex. If you want to repeat image vertically means this way from top to bottom. Horizontal means left to right. So that is a repeat x coordinate and repeat y coordinate. Okay. So y coordinate comes top to bottom. So then x coordinate comes left to right. Okay. So then if you can give the repeat y, see it is coming top to bottom. Okay. So then revert nothing. So whatever default is having, so that default is applying same. So then round. So then space. Okay. It is giving the space. So then unset. Again it is by default. By default property what it is having? Same property. And initial and revert unset both the properties are same. Initial, revert and unset. Okay. Initial, revert and unset both the properties are same. But initial is having something different, slightly different. So whatever the properties initially we are writing, so same property it will take. Inherit. So we are having the inherit also. Inherit means, so it is having any parent element. Any parent element. For body tag, there is no parent element. So if we can create instead of body tag, so body tag is the parent element. So that property, that CSS property will apply for this one. Okay. So then mainly here, no repeat and repeat X and repeat Y. So if you don't want to repeat, so you can use the no repeat. If you want to repeat X coordinate, Y coordinate same time, so you can use the repeat. So if you want to repeat only repeat X, then you can use the repeat X. That means horizontal. So if you want to repeat the image vertically, so you can use the repeat Y. Okay. So these things are the background repeat. Okay. Now I am using no repeat. So then after that, background, background size, background size. Okay. So that means, so background size means I want to apply that background image to full screen, full screen. So then, so you have to use the cover. So it is not repeating. So then, so that background image applying for all the screen, complete screen it is applying. Okay, complete screen it is applying. So then you can see the difference. You can see the difference here. So what is the difference when we apply the background size cover and normal image? See now here. So here, so we are able to see correct picture. It's a original picture. When we see this background image, it is showing as a some blur effect, right? So when we apply the lower resolution of images, so when we apply the background size cover, so then it will show as a image show as a blur effect. Okay. So then, so this is the background size cover. Okay. So then after that we are having the different properties here. So by default auto. So then contain means, so how much of width and height is having, same width and height is applying for the same height and width is applying. Okay, when we use the contain, so cover, so it will completely cover the screen size. So then inherit initial, these two properties, these four properties we can use for all the HTML elements. Okay. So whenever we are going in depth, so then I can explain the inherit and initial. Now you can see only background. Okay. Cover, contain and auto. Okay. So mostly we can use the cover and then contain. Okay. So this is the background property. So then after that, so for suppose here you are having the background contain only, contain. So then after that background position, background position. So where you want to apply that background position. So if it is a bottom, if it is a bottom, So then it will apply as a bottom. So then center, right, top, and unset. Now you can see this one. You can use. So for cover, you can use cover, or otherwise you can use the background size 10%. So this is my background size. So I am giving the background size 75%. So then now the background position, if you want to apply to the right, so then you can give the right side. Okay. So then if you want to give the bottom, okay. So my div width is having this much only. If my body width is having more, if my body width is having height 100% or 700 pixels. Okay, now see, so it is coming from bottom. It is coming from bottom. Okay, so then don't fix the height for body type. Okay, so then after bottom, so we are having the center. Okay, center, left, right, top. Okay, so these four things are the important for the background position. Okay, so then I am using the right. So the next one what we say, background size, background position, background repeat, background size, background repeat, background image, and background color. Okay, the background. Next one is the background color. Where it is having? Yes. So this is the background. So the next one we can apply the background color. Where? Here inside of this one. So open style tag. So then close style. So then body. So all this CSS I am pasting. Okay, here it is the one. Okay, so if you don't have background image, so then we can apply the background color also. Then we can apply the background color also. Background red. This way also we can apply. So background. So then, so same thing, background color. Both are same. Background hyphen color. So then red. Okay, so this is the way we can apply the background color. Instead of using the background image, then you can use this one. Okay, now you can see background image also applied and background color also showing. If it is 100%, so we cannot see this image. If it is 100%, so we cannot see, right? So then now you can see. Now it is 100%. Okay, so we cannot see, but inside background color is there. If we can uncomment this one, so background color is showing. Okay, clear. So then if we